Welcome to First Trade, the show where we're educating new investors and traders. We recognize that some of us are experienced traders,
and some of us aren't. That's why we wanted to level the playing field and make the markets accessible to everyone.
Thanks for tuning in, and we hope you enjoy the show.
Hello, and welcome to First Trade Episode 7. What is going on, everyone? It is your boy, Rohan. That is your man, Michael. And today, I regret to inform you, is in fact the last episode of First Trade. We got a couple calls from the dudes up above in the company, and
the higher ups.
It's just not feeling this show. You guys aren't showing it the love. We still only have 9 ratings on Apple Podcasts somehow.
Honestly, if I had to guess, there was one thing that was gonna stop the show, would not have been the Discord ratings, if I'm being totally honest. And somehow that's been the bane.
Well, you told them that you would stop coming back if you didn't get more reviews.
Nobody gave a shit because we didn't get more reviews.
Anyway, what I would normally say at this point in the show is how First Trade is a show where we come together and try and learn, because we know out there the trading world can be confusing. It was confusing for me because I'm a very beginner trader, kind of a noob. Anyway, so
fair.
We're just trying to learn from episode 1 to 7. I was learning, but you guys don't want me to learn more or something. And so with that, I regret to inform you that this will indeed be the last episode. Psych.
Good April Fool's joke, dude.
But yeah, it's not actually April Fool's for you guys. That was last week, but it is Thursday, April 1st for us as we're recording today. Michael, what is going on? How's your day been? How was your April Fool's?
Yeah, it's been good, man. I actually, until we were recording this episode, and I will be fully transparent right now, I did not know it was April Fool's. I forgot today was April 1st. I was up till like 3 a.m. working last night, and then I got up at like 5 a.m. working today. So I didn't remember that it was April 1st. I just knew it was like, today I was literally remembering that it's the first day of Q2, which for me means the first day of like going after new contracts and like recurring contracts and stuff like that. So that's how I classify my days. I was not thinking in terms of like April 1st.
I'm Michael. I like to make money.
Hey, shut the Listen, I know it sounds really bad. That's literally how I was terming like this day. I wasn't thinking it was like April 1st.
Finance, bro.
So I totally forgot. I feel like, yeah, I did not even remember it was April 1st today. So I forgot about April Fool's until just now when you recorded the epic intro. So now I remember. But it was actually a good week. Today was a good day. I've been like down on every stock I have for like the last 2 weeks. Today was actually up. Yesterday was actually up. So I finally like got back 90% of what I lost. So yeah, it's been a good week, man. Tomorrow's Good Friday. Today, tomorrow was Good Friday, and next week it won't be when people are watching this. But yeah, it's been a good week.
Sweet, man. So yeah, I mean, it's a pretty solid day. Fun day in the office. We tried to do some April Fool's jokes. Didn't do anything that crazy, other than this one, obviously, best one ever.
What did you guys actually do? Because I didn't get in here until like 2:30 today. I worked from home.
Neil had a pretty good one. What did he do? He canceled his show and quit Benzinga and moved to another company.
Oh, that is pretty good.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, it was funny.
I wish you would do that sometime, but like have it not be a joke and actually leave this guy.
Wow.
All right, that's mine. I'm done.
Nice. I'll give you that one.
Thanks.
All right, folks. Well, you know what? We've diddle-daddled around. I don't know.
Not a word.
It's not a word. I know.
We've dilly-dallied.
Dilly-dallied around enough.
Thank you.
So it's time we get into like the meat of this episode. What are we here for? We have a pretty sweet guest. One who I would say has a unique trading story. And I'm sure you guys will be very interested to hear from him. So, look forward to that in just a couple minutes here. We will get into that. The markets, like you said, are up. I am making my way slowly to not being deeply, deeply in the red with my account. Well, guys, unlike Michael, we actually do have a pretty sweet guest coming on, and I don't want to waste your time. I know we need to get right into the juiciness of this episode. That is a weird word, but this guest has a pretty unique trading story, one that I'm sure you guys will be interested to hear about. So without further ado, it is about that time.
Let's bring him on. Let's do it.
Let's bring on Mike, the blind trader. Mike, what's up? How's it going?
It's going good. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for being on, man. It's great to have you.
I like your Fortnite shirt. I'm not much of a player. I tried playing it like once or twice, and I just realized that. Oh, there we go. I love the openness about that. I would have tried to fake it, but Yeah, no, I realized I tried playing it once and I realized all these children are much better than me. So
Yeah, no,
I
yeah.
try not to compete.
They move too fast for me.
All right, all right. Well, Mike, how are you doing today? How's your week in trading been? The market's been moving up today for once a little bit. So,
Yeah, I actually had a pretty good week this week. Was
all
able
right,
to
there we
take
go.
some profit off the table on a few things.
Nice.
Love
Yeah.
it, love it. So, for those of you who don't know, Mike goes by the Blind Trader for a reason. Pretty incredible story, and we'd love to hear about it. Mike, why don't you just introduce yourself a little bit, let the audience get to know you.
My name's Mike, and I have retinitis pigmentosa. It's a rare eye disease. It causes tunnel vision. So I've got about 5 degrees of vision left. In my central vision, it's still pretty decent. It's starting to fade. I'm still fortunate enough to be able to work a computer and be able to see it really well, I guess, compared to some others. I also have macular edema, which is another part of that is what's causing the central vision to act up.
Gotcha.
I
That's
just
crazy. How did, I mean, obviously this is like the question in all of our minds, clearly, but so, I mean, can you tell us like briefly the story of how you got into trading then? And I mean, at what point did this start for you where you knew that you were going to be trading even with, the macular degenera and whatever else you had going on? What's your background into getting into trading and kind of getting started there?
well, I lost my job, I guess, about 6 years ago, and I got on disability, and I was bored, didn't have anything to do all day, and just going crazy. I'm not a big sports fan or anything, so I don't. It's hard to find hobbies for me. I prefer making money. So
There we
I've
go.
always done right. And my wife brought home that Robinhood app. I know you guys have heard that so many times.
Of course, yeah.
She's like, "Hey, I think you might like this." So I checked it out, and I was like, "Oh yeah." And I got on YouTube and started YouTube and all kinds of different stuff about the stock market, and ran across Andy with Mighty Soldiers Trades, and from there it just took off. I just fell in love with it, and he's pretty much helped me to get where I'm at today, and introduced me to everybody that's been able to help me since then.
That's awesome.
Damn, that's awesome.
I love that. I love that line. It's like I'd rather be making money.
That's awesome. I
No,
love it.
that's great. So I guess with that, then, do you remember what your actual first trade was? It's a question we love to ask on the show because of the name of the show. I'd love to love for you to walk us through your first trade, if you remember the ticker, why you were going for it, and how it ended up panning out.
My first trade could have made me a wealthy man, honestly, because I started in January of last year before the market crash, and I was paper trading through March. Andy told me to check out to do some paper trading, get used to it. Well, I paper traded all the way through the crash and was still paper trading a little bit afterwards. And that's when I decided I'm going to sell my truck. So I sold my truck. I hadn't drove it in years, and took that money and put it into account and bought plug power. And it kept going down like stocks do. You buy and it goes down.
Right.
I kept selling it, and I'd buy back in, and I'd have to sell it again because I didn't realize what I was doing. I didn't know nothing about what I was doing. I was just trying to do the day trade thing where I could buy it, bounce, sell it. And if I couldn't get it to bounce, I was selling it. If I'd have known now, or if I'd known then what I know now, I'd have held on to plug power because that thing went flying.
Oh man, it sure did.
I was trading, I think, at like $3 or $4.
Yeah.
And I got it for free on Robinhood. That's what made me trade plug.
Oh
It
man.
was one of my trades I got for free, and then I got PCG was another trade. I got it through Weeble, and I actually got 3 of them. But I still trade PCG. I still like that stock. I know it's not much, but I trade stocks that are a little bit slower because I have to rest my eyes a lot. So I like to trade stocks that I can control.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And so, are you with that? I guess are you still mostly day trading, or tell us a little bit about what your trading style is, and also I'd love to hear, since you mentioned Robinhood and now you mentioned Webull, what's your platform of choice?
Oh, I use Thinkorswim.
Okay.
That's my favorite one. I've tried all the rest of them, and I just can't see well enough on them. With TOS, you can blow everything up really well. You can change the colors easily. It's really
Okay. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people
work.
like Thinkorswim, especially from the day traders I know.
Yeah.
And so is that what you do? Are you day trading, or are you swinging, or?
I do some day trading. Today I was able to do some day trading on Hang on, I'll tell you what I traded. I traded UAVS when it dropped down to the $6 range. I bought in on that one and rode it back up for I think about 13, 14 cents. Just a quick day trade in and out of that one. I tried to trade OI and I ended up losing on that one. It went down right after I bought it, and I was like, I don't know enough about it, so I got out, and that thing went straight up afterwards.
We've all done that too many
Yeah.
times. Yeah.
But I do like to swing trade. I like to buy stock, but I like to go in with small shares, and then I'll let it work for a little while and see how that stock's going to react with me in it. And if I can get it to drop back down some more, I like to buy more. And then if it comes back up above my number, I'll sell that first batch that I bought and try to buy again when it bounces back under and build me a nice position at a cheap price, if that makes sense to you guys.
Interesting. Yeah. That's a cool strategy. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's worked for me this year. So, I know how the market can change every year. So, but this year that has kind of been my strategy.
Nice. So what are some of your big wins from this year then? I mean, this has been a crazy year for everybody trading, obviously, like 2020, the last 12 months. And I mean, you've got a more unique story than I'm sure many of us that are trading here on this channel. So what have been some of the big wins for you? What are some of the stocks you've really crushed? What is some stuff you've been able to ride up? What's been going well for you?
CCIV. I just sold some big shares in that one today and was able to make some good profit. I've been buying and then selling and then buying again, and I built me a price down to right at like $20.40 something, I think.
Oh, nice.
So I got in at a good price, and I did do good with that one. My worst trade this year was Fubo.
Oh.
I got all upset over that because I thought it was going to be big. I thought it was going to, blow up just like a Roku. So I thought, I ain't selling that thing. No, I lost all my profit from January and February on that one.
Oh man.
This year. So I'm literally back to the break even from where I lost that after getting. So I'm okay. At least I'm profitable this year. And
Okay.
it's been
There
great
you go.
year.
I can't say the same for myself. So
Yeah, if you'd have asked me that 2 weeks ago, I was not profitable.
No, it's funny. I've had the same thing. Like this year started off pretty strong for me. I had a couple of different. I took most of my money out like later last year, September, October. Really stopped investing for the most part. I had all of my money in cash, and I bought a few stocks back because I'm like, we're still going up. I don't see any reason it's going to come down. So I bought a few. The later half of December was pretty solid. January started strong for me. And then the last month and a half, it's just been down like every day consistently. It's just been in the red. But it felt good because I took the wait and see the wait and see approach. I waited, I let it sit, I didn't get impatient, and this week I finally bounced back up in the couple positions I'm in. I finally like almost clawed back like 90% of what I've been down the last month and a half. So finally bounced back. It's settled out in the end. Sometimes it's just like, and I'm sure you've had this experience too, but sometimes it's just being patient. Letting things bounce back and not jumping out of it before it's time.
It is, yeah. That's what it comes down to. You got to be patient, and part of that patience for me is not putting all my money in the market, because if I've got money in the account and cash, then I can be patient because I can always buy more dips. Build my position on up. But I do like to trade stocks that I feel comfortable with. Fubo was just I got a little bit overboard with that one. I got too excited.
I mean, I feel like it happens to everyone at some point.
Yeah.
I started trading with, like, my first trade was the first episode of this show, and so we're on 7 now. So it's been 7 or this would be the 7th or 8th week. I think we took a bye week, but so I've been mostly catching the market while it's down and haven't been going crazy. I don't have a whole lot in there, so I'm still waiting for that dumb decision to make or something like that. But for me, that's Torchlight right now. I'm just holding on that one.
Yeah.
Brutal.
I think Mike and I are kind of in the same boat, except my average cost is definitely higher than his.
Yeah, I got into a little bit later. I'm like, I'm going to beat you out on this one. I'm going to get a little bit. Yeah, I've been crushed on it too. It's been brutal for both of us. Yeah.
So I wanted to ask a little bit, because you mentioned you mentioned Mighty Soldiers trades. Andy, a great guy. I've met him once. He came in the office. How do you, and so it seems like you really found a community there. Did you want to speak to how finding a community helps you grow as a trader? And what would you recommend for other beginner traders?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. If you can get out there and meet some people that you can trust to give you good advice, then that's the best route to go, because you can ask them anything. They're not gonna tell you a lie. They're gonna hurt your feelings if it has to be hurt. Believe me, Andy's hurt mine before. Let me know when I've bought stuff and shouldn't have done it. Yeah, yeah. I just kind of, luckily, he don't hear me yelling on the other end. But no, yeah. You gotta have some people to talk to and learn from, and you need somebody that's had that experience, because there's no way I would know what I know in the market or anything about the market if I didn't know Andy, because I would have just been reading what I see on Twitter and on YouTube, and everybody on Twitter and YouTube is just rich. They're all making Lamborghini money, as they say.
Yeah.
Yeah. So true. So true.
Yeah.
So true. Yeah, and it's hard to. I feel like there's plenty of people out there. There's plenty of people who keep it real, but there's plenty of people who
Yeah.
kind of portray this life of, just
Get rich quick.
get rich quick, stuff to make you kind of envious, but they don't really, build you up along the way. And
Yeah.
and the reason I wanted to ask you about, advice to beginner traders and finding a community, like we're trying to build a community over here with First Trade, with Benzinga as a whole, but regardless, there's so many great ones out there. Atlas Trading, we've had the Atlas guys on our show before.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to ask, like, what do you recommend for someone when they, like, how do they find a community? How do they get into it,
Well, finding a community is just something you've honestly got to get out there and just look for it. Like I said, I watched YouTube videos, and I started off watching Squirrel Trader, and I don't know if you guys know who that is. He was on one of your all shows before.
Okay. Yeah.
And I tried a few of the other ones that were a lot bigger that day traded, and I couldn't keep up with them. And you need somebody that's going to be able to talk back to you as well. So just it's got to be honestly, it's got to be a smaller community for somebody like myself, so I can have time to type and read what they have to say without it being 1,000 words a second, because I can't
Oh, yeah.
keep up with all that. Yeah.
Yeah. I
So,
mean, yeah,
Andy,
definitely.
Andy, whenever I first started, it wasn't that big of a community, I don't think. And he's just kind of blown up over time. And it's even harder now for me to keep up with him. So they gave me my own room in their Discord, so I can type stuff in and
Nice.
they can chat with me in there. So
Dude, that feels like Rohan in all of our company group chats. Like that just blows us up all the time. We can't even keep up. It's ridiculous.
Wow. You had to get one in before I got one on you, huh?
I figured I'd strike first this time. Yeah.
Wow.
honestly,
No
though,
mercy.
I'd just say you gotta get out there and you gotta try. You gotta look for some people, and coming and watching Benzinga here is, you're gonna meet tons of them. I mean, after Andy introduced me to you guys, I've got tons of friends that I can talk to and ask just about anything, because y'all are just a community. It's just a really cool community here.
That's awesome.
Awesome,
Yeah.
man. That's so good to hear. That's a blast. I guess I think my last question, that kind of like plays off that same kind of thing. I mean, if you were talking to this community of like obviously newer traders, we've got a ton of people ranging from experienced investors to people who are just getting started. If there's one piece of advice you could give, knowing what you know in the market now, what's the biggest piece of advice, or maybe 2 or 3 pieces of advice you'd give to newer investors that are just getting started? This is the First Trade Show. What would you say to people that are getting into it? What would you keep in mind?
I would say take your time, practice paper trading just a little bit. I don't think you need to overdo it, but do a little bit of paper trading, because you're not going to get the good feel for it. And when you switch over to cash, get a cash account. Don't go margin. Stay cash at first, and trade small. Get a feel for the market. That's number one. Number two, I'd say, is make sure you do your research before you buy into something. Don't just think those EMAs are going to give you the answer every time. Make sure you know something about that company that's positive, and go off of that, because you don't want to just trade EMAs. You'll hear a lot of people on YouTube and stuff just say, when this EMA crosses this one, I buy. I sell when it crosses this one. No, make sure it's got a purpose for going up, if that makes sense. Just
100%.
do a little bit of research.
Do your own research. Do your DD.
Yeah, even if you trust your community, that if you found your community already, still do your own research.
Do the research.
Still, do your own stuff on it, and go in with your own plan. Don't follow somebody.
Love it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense, because you can always get ideas from other people, but at
I
the
get
end of the
ideas
day,
from you guys all day long. I don't go in just because you guys tell me about these ideas. I go back and I do some research on them, and I find me an entry, just like you all are probably finding you an entry on them.
I love it.
No, I love it. That makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta find your own style too. Like just like you did,
Yeah.
I guess we didn't really talk about it, but I know that you were getting into scalping a little bit, along with like the swing trades, and you obviously found something that works for you. And just like that, you I feel like everyone really needs to find that. I'm still working on it, trying to figure out what works best for me. But
I still will do a little bit of scalping. If I see something that is like, ooh, that's money, I'm gonna try to scalp it out of there real quick. And if I can't get it, oh well, I tried. And I can't say I just trade one way. I do focus my trades on swing trading them. I'd like to have a little bit of fun. The market can get boring if you don't do a little bit of day trading.
yeah, no. I mean, you gotta have fun with it,
Yeah,
obviously. How much time do you spend trading?
I'm home all day long. So if my eyes are okay, I'm at the computer. So I'll probably spend at least between 3 and 6 hours a day
Oh wow,
at my desk. Just
that's
depends
awesome.
on if my, and then some days I can't come to my desk at all because my eyes will just be too, if my macular edema acts up, it causes everything to go white and any light just blinds me. I work around that, but I can listen to YouTube videos. I still listen to you all. I just turn it on and listen.
Okay, there we
Like
go.
I hope it's not too painful for you.
I hope, yeah, I hope we don't annoy you too much.
Not at all. Like I said, I just miss Jason not coming on here lately. I wish more people would come in and watch the show.
Oh, he'll be
Get
back. What is it?
Jason back
Jason
on it.
Jason comes back Monday, I think,
I was
right?
about to say, they said he swung in today, but there wasn't enough people in there, so he left. And I'm like, hey, he's my favorite one. I
No,
get a kick out of him.
he'll make his way back on for sure.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I guess that was most of the questions I had for you, Mike. But pretty incredible, and I'd love to see it. Did you have any like words of wisdom or advice or even motivation at this point? Because you talk about having to rest your eyes and then coming back to it, and it sounds like you really love trading. But for those people who are maybe apprehensive to get into it, and maybe to those people who think that they can't do it for whatever reason, do you have anything you want to say to them?
Yeah, I've had people tell me that it's illegal to trade like certain stocks or anything. They just don't know enough about the market. So people just need to do a little bit of research and realize that you can do it. Just anything's possible. No matter what you're going through, what's going on in your life, what you're struggling with, you can do this. It's simple if you, like you guys were saying, you take the time and build a plan and work your own strategy in it. I'm not saying it doesn't get difficult, because it can, but it is something that I think everybody should trade in the stock market at some point. Everybody should give it a try. I wish I would have known about it when I was younger, because I
No,
would
that's
have
awesome.
really enjoyed it.
That's great.
Cool.
And yeah, no, I mean, love to hear it. And I agree. Everyone should give it a go. Why not? Learn, I wish I had started earlier. Thankfully, I'm still fairly young, I think, and that's what I'm trying to learn. But
The people here in Kentucky, they don't. You mentioned stock market, and they'll freak out like, "Oh gosh, you messing with that?" And they don't know nothing about it. I love people around here, but they don't know nothing about it. They're like, "Oh man."
That's awesome.
But I've been trying to tell everybody, get into the market. Just buy something you like, something you know. Buy the dips. That's what I tell everybody. Buy the dips. Just
by the dip.
Buy
yeah,
the dip.
buy the dip.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it, man.
Part of why we're trying to make this show also is like just to make it easier to find this information, because a lot of the stock shows, a lot of the content out there is very like intermediate to advanced level content, right? They expect you to have a basic understanding or just know the stuff. And it almost, at a certain point, it feels like you're almost like scared to ask the question sometimes, because you're like should I know this? Like,
Yeah, and that's me. There's a lot of big words on there that I can't pronounce, and I'm like, I still need to know what they mean. So I'd love for somebody to go over all of it.
There we go, Mike. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you taking the time to come hang out with us for a little bit. And just to the audience, go check out Mike on Twitter, The Blind Trader. Pretty sweet story, Mike. And, keep us updated on how your trading's going. I'm sure that you'll be doing well in the markets. hopefully I'll catch up to you. It sounds like you're doing better than I am right now, but best of luck to everyone out there. Hopefully the market's picking up. We had SPY hit. Did it hit 400 today?
4,000.
4,000. That's what I meant. No, 400. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I
actually,
think
don't even
I
actually
think-
listen to me. Yeah, I don't
I
even know.
seen Dipty Dan say something about it hitting 420. He's got a spot set at 420 for it.
Love it.
Oh.
All right, Mike. Well, thanks for joining us, and reach out, come back on, hang out with the community. I'd love to
Yeah,
love to
I would
have you
love
around
to.
more.
Thank you all for having me on here. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Mike.
All right,
Take it
Y'all
easy,
take
man.
care.
take it easy. All right, Mike. That was pretty sick, right? Pretty,
Solid, yeah. What a
pretty-
great guest.
Pretty cool story, right? I know, like that would be difficult, but it sounds like he's really passionate about trading, and despite the difficulties that he had to overcome, he found a trading strategy, and I want to talk a little bit about that too, right? Like, one, he tried out different things to try and find his trading strategy. He found a community, he found a mentor, and despite any difficulties he might have had to overcome, Mike was able to, put the effort in, go all in. Like you said, he spends like 6 hours a day now. It's way more than I look at my account.
It's awesome. I know.
Yeah,
it's-
so
even with a difficulty like that, like spending 6 hours in front of the computer, that's incredible. He's overcome so much, and he's been successful at it too, which is awesome. But I love to talk about the mentor too. You've got to have the mentor that's going to get you into it and teach you how to do it. Especially, I mean, when you're dealing with the difficulty that he has too, finding a mentor, I feel like, is an even bigger deal. So he's found the mentor, he found the things that works for him, and he's got the important stuff right too. Do the due diligence, I mean, I love how he even called it out. He's like, just because Benzinga is telling me to do it, like, I don't go do it. Like, I
Facts.
still do my own research. I love that. That's awesome.
facts. Don't just listen to our ideas blindly.
Yeah, please don't.
Especially not mine.
Yeah,
And
especially.
especially not Mike's, as we've seen from my first trade.
Doubly, especially. Yes, thank you.
Mike, how's your weekend trading been?
Yeah,
And-
it's
and
been
what's
good.
the,
I mean,
what's the account looking like right now?
Yeah, I mean, I talked about it in the beginning. I mean, definitely up. Like I said, I still got a position in end phase, which is decent. I like all the talk about the Green New Deal. I like the stuff about the going back to clean energy. I think that's going to help. Still got end phase. I still got some marijuana stocks. Canopy Growth is still one I'm holding. And I still got a position in Torch, which, I mean, you and I are kind of in the same boat. That's riddled with fucking bullet holes and sinking in Torch, but I'm still in it. Like, I figured at this point, what do I have to lose?
Hey, I mean, at this point, you know what? Maybe there will be, in fact, a merger.
Well, I mean, you would think so at this point. Why sell though? I mean, I'm only down like 26% or something. It's nothing, right? Like, might as well just hold it.
I'm down more than that, but that's okay.
Okay. Well, either way, I mean,
Like
we
I
might as
said,
well
but
hold it.
here's the thing. Like we talked about in the first episode, I was willing to lose it, so I'm
Right.
not gonna
See,
like.
exactly. If it's not a big deal, if you're
Yeah.
not, if you don't have your house mortgaged over it, I mean, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, for sure. So my account's a similar situation. I'm invested $600 into the account, not a huge amount, but I am down like 150. It seems like everything seems to be down this week. Well, we are picking up today, so I did see some of my Celsius is up, so that's cool.
Celsius, good pickup. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's been doing well. Something I've been eyeing today, it just happened, is my dad called me in the morning. He's like, check out EBS, Emergent Solutions. Is that what it is?
I don't even know what that is.
I don't know too much. I know that they have something to do with like the COVID situation.
Who's your dad getting fed inside information from? He just called you randomly and said, look at EBS?
Dude, I mean, but Luke called it out on the show today. That's what I was about to bring up.
Oh, that's awesome. Your dad's as hooked up as Luke. That's great. Wow. Cool. Anyway.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm sure he heard it, and then so that is what I'm looking at today because it took a dip, but it's usually a well-performing stock from what I've heard. So obviously I'm going to look into that, why and whatnot. So that's what's on my mind in terms of trades.
Dig it.
What about this weekend news? Today we did finally hit the 400 in SPY. What was actually the top of that? I gotta pull that up and check it out. But meanwhile, why don't you tell us a little bit about kind of the current news and stocks this week and what you might be interested in. What
I
are
mean,
you looking
yeah,
at?
other than the SPY, it's been a good question. I mean, I've been head down in work all week, so I haven't paid too much attention to the news. But I mean, I know Biden's infrastructure deal came out. That's interesting to me because I do wonder what's going to happen with construction stocks and stuff like that. there's a couple of really interesting plays that I think could happen there. One that I'm actually pretty excited about. I know a local real estate developer actually in West Bloomfield, here in Michigan, that may be making a big land purchase to do some electric car charging stations combined with a car wash, which would actually be pretty interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I don't know what the safety measure is of having like a car wash next to like electricity, but either way,
Is it plugged in while it's getting washed?
I feel like they probably wouldn't do that. But no, I do. There's a real estate guy or a developer that I know in West Bloomfield that's thinking about a large land purchase to put up a car wash mixed with like some electric car charging stations, which is interesting. Because I mean, you're tying in like the infrastructure deal with the green energy and trying to push things towards clean tech. So I think that could be an interesting thing. Like I'm obviously seeing it locally with guys like the real estate developer. I don't know how big it could get nationally, but construction stocks I like. I think there's going to be a lot of federal subsidies for growth and especially green energy too. So that's an interesting one. I'm going to keep an eye on it.
Yeah, man. I was actually driving past, and I don't know how common these things are, but it was the first time I saw a car wash that was like an eco car wash, which was really interesting. Basically, like they wash your car with all like recycled or collected water.
Wow, that's cool.
And so I just wonder if that's like maybe that's like kind of tying into that
What
in
area
terms of.
do you live in?
Dude,
This
it's
must
not
be a
where I was
very
living in at
bougie
all.
area.
I think I was driving past like the airport area or something like that.
Wow,
Like Merriman or something around there.
interesting. Wow, well, it sounds very bougie, but anyway.
Yeah, I mean it was super low key. I just kind of saw it off to the side, but I was like, huh, interesting. I actually haven't seen that
Unique.
before.
Very cool.
So SPY is sitting at 461 cents. So we have broke 400.
Wow.
Kind of hanging around there. So if you bought in June, good for you.
Yeah, it's been a good run.
You're an awfully lucky person.
No doubt.
But that's kind of been this week, I guess. And anything else in terms of stocks you're eyeing?
At the moment, like I said, I've been so head down. It's been a crazy week. I haven't been able to get as much into research as I'd like. Hopefully over the weekend. Like I said, we had a lot of church and stuff this past weekend, so I didn't really get to do my usual research on Sunday. This Sunday coming up, I should be able to do a lot more looking into some stocks I like, find some more tickers, and probably get back into a couple new positions. But like I said, the infrastructure deal is big. Want to keep an eye on that, just see what happens with construction stocks and add some new stuff to it next week. We'll see what's going on. Oil stocks are a big one. I mean, the ship got out of the Suez Canal, which is huge.
Yeah.
So that's been a good one to keep an eye on. Oil is interesting because they can go up or down there. I mean, I've seen it go both ways. So I don't know. That's one to keep an eye on too.
Up, down, and sideways. There we go, folks. So this is the kind of the part where we got to drop some plugs. We got to promote a little bit. If you are not on our Discord already, what are you doing? Hop in there, join our Discord. It is in the link. And of course, if you are tired of our faces, I know sometimes I get tired of Michael's face. You're welcome to listen to our podcast, which is available on all your favorite podcasting platforms, including Apple Podcasts. But where it helps us out the most is if you leave a review for us on Apple Podcasts. We are still sitting at 9. I don't really know how, but if you go in there, leave something funny, leave a nice story, we'd really appreciate it. We had some giveaways, and they didn't seem to, I promoted it a second time where I'd said, even if you're not on it, maybe just drop a follow, show that you downloaded an episode, shoot me an email at rohan@benzinga.com. So either way, if you're interacting with the show, if you're a fan of it, then let us know, and we might hook you up. Folks, with that, I think it's time that we wrap this up,
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
and we shall see you next week. Folks, that was pretty great. No, that was a bad intro. I cannot get this stupid thing to like.
Let's do it quick because I really have to rock a piss here in like 2 seconds.
What's going on? Well, how is it doing? How's it going today? It got boring real quick.
Guess what I got, dude? Another fucking Snapchat from my mom.
I was just about ready to start. The hell?